Yo, what's up guys, Shujinkydink here, and welcome to a video all about my life. My story begins on November 7th, 1987, when I was thrust from my mother's womb via the miracle of childbirth. I was born in the Vancouver General Hospital in, you guessed it, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. When I was about 14 months old, I was left alone in the house that me and my mother lived in, so she can go and do whatever it was she felt she needed to do. And eventually, I was taken away by social services and put into an adoptive home. And 1 year later, another baby would join me there, who I would later find out was my baby brother, Philip. We were soon adopted by two very loving people named Ron and Patty, who would take both me and my brother together and raise us in one big happy family. We would also have an older sister who both my brother and I looked up to immensely our entire childhood. And I see you judging my stick figures. I'd like to see you do better stick figures. It's not my strength, okay? I had a fairly normal childhood. The house that we moved to after I was adopted had lots of trees and there was lots of berries to pick. And we had lots of room. We also had a greenhouse where we used to grow all sorts of vegetables and fruit and stuff. There was always stuff to do as a kid, but my passion ended up being indoors. My mom had sent my dad to the store to get us a video game console. She wanted us to get the Nintendo because she heard it was child friendly. But we got there and we wanted the Sega Genesis, and that's what we got, and my mom was pissed. Shortly after that though, we would make a move. We moved about 3 hours away to a town called Salmon Arm, and I had to leave all my friends that I'd made behind. But in the end, it was a really good move for us, as it was a smaller town, and it was easier for kids to go around and do things, and it was a lot safer with a lot lower crime rate than where we lived before, which was in Maple Ridge. When we moved there, we discovered shortly after that there was a bowling alley down by my house. So we joined the bowling league and I started to bowl. It looks like some sort of a weird tree, but I swear it's just me bowling. I excelled at bowling, it was a lot of fun, but one of the main reasons that I would go to bowling every week was to play in the arcades. And in the arcades, they had, yeah, you guessed it, Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat. And we would spend quarters and quarters and quarters, and sometimes we just put quarters on there just to let the older kids show us all the fatalities because we didn't know them at the time, and we thought it was so cool to watch them all. And this was my first interaction with many of the series of Mortal Kombat, which would change my life forever. When I was in grade 3, I got bullied by 3 kids who were in grade 7. They were a lot bigger than me, and one of them I remember, he was quite large and his friends called him Crumpet. Not sure why, but I'll always remember that. And they would do wrestling moves on me onto the grass, and it would leave me going home very bruised, very scared, and for a long time I just didn't want to go back to school, and it was really hard for me. It was during this time that I found an outlet in something that I was actually good at, which was public speaking. I won a public speaking competition at my school and qualified for regionals, and went to regionals and ended up taking 3rd place, which surprised a lot of people because I was a fairly quiet child and no one really knew where this came from. It was also around this time that I started to gain more weight, and I ended up being a pretty big kid and getting made fun of it a lot. I continued to be big until I was about 14 years old, and I started to thin out just in time to move yet again to another city. Moving at that age was tough because everyone at the high school that I went to was just so much different than my old friends. I didn't know how to fit in, it was just a totally different atmosphere. But eventually I did find a way to kind of bridge the gap, and that was through an extreme sport called skateboarding. I loved skateboarding. Me and my friends would go every day after school. We'd catch the bus, find different skate spots, and eventually I got a camera and I started filming everything. And my parents bought a computer and I got into video editing, and I had a blast with it and even edited some videos for some sponsored skateboarders around town. I had finally found my niche, but my schoolwork was suffering for it, I was not interested in the schoolwork at all, and I went through all of high school barely doing any homework. I failed math twice and barely passed my other classes except for English. I did really well in English. I'm not sure why I enjoyed it that much, but I did. I eventually graduated from high school and found myself working at a bank as a branch manager, which was always a hilarious joke to me as I had failed math twice. But it was a great job, it made me feel very important, and it paid well, which I needed money for because I started partying probably more than I should have. Then, on October 8th, 2009, I met my best friend, the man you know as Boss This Dragon. I'd always heard horrible stories about how hard it was to raise children, how colicky they could be, but he was the perfect baby and made it so easy. Unfortunately, life wasn't going to do the same. The bank closed down and laid me off. I had no job, I had a small child, and I worked several other small jobs, and just nothing could get me where I needed to be. I was lost, I was broke, and I didn't really know what to do. But there was one thing that helped ease the dark times. That was Mortal Kombat. I would play any chance I got. When Boss This Dragon was having his naps, when he was asleep at night, I would play for hours, just talking to friends online and trying to get better. It gave me a purpose and kind of showed me that I am good at something in life. I'm not just a complete failure. In 2011, I finally decided to attend a Mortal Kombat tournament in Phoenix, Arizona called Devastation. There was about 280-ish entrants there, and I ended up getting 9th place, and I got to meet my friend Rio, who I've known since about 2004. So that was really cool, and he would go on to win the tournament. The whole experience was just awesome. After that, I was addicted to tournaments. I went to all of them, traveled all around the country, and eventually at one of them I met a girl. And this girl changed my life in so many different ways. Although I didn't do as well as the tournaments as I'd like, staying around the top 16 and never really getting the top 8s, I decided not to travel as much and save more money for the future. Then one day it hit me. The public speaking that I did as a child, the video editing that I did as a teenager, and Mortal Kombat that's been with me my entire life, all accumulated into a YouTube channel. I was destined to do this. It just made sense to me. So I launched my channel, I worked really hard for it, and here we are today at 4,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Your support means the world to me. Each and every one of you. And now there's 4,000 of us. All here, all trying to play some Mortal Kombat, or Injustice soon. Either way, I really hope you're enjoying the videos, guys, and you've given me a purpose, you've given me something to look forward to. So, as always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and of course, hashtag Bonehawks and all that stuff, and we'll see all you guys in the next video.